our mission is all about impacting the world for Christ. And our vision statement reads like this: we want to partner with parents in order to train students to be lifelong learners. We want to equip them with knowledge and wisdom that will prepare them for a solid faith foundation to do what? To serve God and their community.
This is the Buffalo Community Podcast, all about the greatest small town in the USA, the people in it, and how it all works together. Here are your hosts, Tyler Reese and Mark Benzer.
Hey everybody, it's Tyler Reese with the Buffalo Community Podcast. Episode 91, man, we are approaching that 100 mark. 100 mark. Really looking forward to it, but we've got a really interesting guest, a couple of guests with us today. We've got the representatives for Impact Christian Academy, Pastor Max and Rissa Schrick. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, for the 30,000 foot view, for the people that don't know, what are you doing and what are you promoting here?
Okay, well, so we are super excited to be getting ready to launch a new Christian school in the community, and not just for Buffalo, but all the surrounding communities. The name of our school is Impact Christian Academy, and we want it to be just that. We really want to make an impact for Christ upon this world. We want kiddos from all surrounding communities to come together and to be raised up as warriors for the Lord, to be equipped and trained, and to be taught with what we call the biblical worldview. And we're really excited. We've been working at it, I think, since the
5
summer.
5 months now.
5 months,
Our first meeting was on the 17th of August.
Yep.
So.
And we've been meeting pretty much every week, every Monday, and more times, but since that time.
Yeah.
So we have just a group of people who just have a heart for that. We just feel like we've been given that call, and God has really just put together an amazing team of people where we just are united in this vision, and we've done a lot of work, and we're excited.
Blows my mind that you can go from 5 months ago with this idea and then start putting wheels in motion to a planned first day of school coming up already in September of this year.
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how to start a school, but I mean, where do you start, and what are the hoops and the hurdles and the things that you jump through to get it done?
There were a couple of us on the committee who've had experience in the past of starting this Christian school. I was one of those, and our former our children's pastor, Mary Blosser, had also helped start a school. So we had some idea of what to do and where to go. But along the way, God just brought a team together that filled in the gaps of what we knew needed to be done. And we had to write bylaws, and we had to apply for a state license, and we had to apply for 501c3 with the IRS. And then we had to create a board. So we had to have a board manual. And now, what do we do with students? So we created a manual for students and parents to understand what the school is about, and a vision statement. And, it was a long list of things that we needed to do. But God brought the right people along and really helped with the process. Well, where we're at today is really a miracle.
It is, absolutely.
Sounds like a classic example of working backwards.
Yeah.
Right? We want a school with teachers and classrooms, and and it's like, okay, how do we get there?
Right. We knew what the end product would look like. So how do we get there? And then you're right. We started to work backwards, and
that's right.
So for the first year, how is it looking? I mean, is it how many students are you looking at? What's the goal? What's the interest so far?
That's a great question. So far, to gauge the interest level, we had our first community forum back on November 1st, and where we had over 250 people in attendance just to listen, be intrigued. We had them fill out a communication card. Are you somewhat interested? Are you very interested? Or are you ready to enroll? And between the two categories of very interested and ready to enroll, over 100 students. So just who are saying, hey, we're ready for this. And so we're starting to prepare that way. For the first year, for where the school will be located, will be at Buffalo Covenant Church, and the church has been so kind to host us. for the first year at least. The hope would be that we would find a piece of property that we could build a school, because we really do want it to be K through 12 eventually. It's going to be K through 9th grade for next year, with the promise that we'll add a year of high school as we go. And we have another community forum coming up on February 28th, where we'll share more pieces. Because the first forum, a lot of the questions, and we're like, we're not quite sure yet, but that's a great question. We're going to get back to you on that.
Yep.
But we have gathered so many more nuggets now of information and made a lot of decisions through our subcommittees. So we're really ready to present a lot of new information.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody asks us, well, how many
Yeah.
teachers are you going to need? Well, we
Right.
don't know
That's right.
until we get an enrollment.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
how many rooms
Yep.
are you going to need? Well, we don't know until we find out. So the
Yep.
sooner we get that information out, then we can start collecting names and tuition money. And
Yep, which
It-
that will happen at the end of January is when we hope to open enroll. We're just working on the website, getting that kind of up and rolling, and then all the forms are all completed, so that will be out there and let families know. But yeah, until we know the numbers.
Sure. So if that link is live, it will link it somewhere
Okay.
above the video or below the video,
Yeah.
wherever it's going to end up.
Awesome.
For people to get a direct link of,
Okay, that'd be
is it
great.
open yet? Well, as of today, no.
Right.
But when we air this in a couple of weeks.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
it,
should.
should be
be.
ready. Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
And your connection, I don't think we've talked about your connection with the school, the church, everything. A little
Well,
bit.
I'm the lead pastor at the church, and I'm retiring as of the end of April. And so, because of my experience, I worked in a Christian school for a year, and I've helped start a Christian school. So it was kind of a natural affinity to move into that
Sure.
role to help. What the long-term role is yet to be determined. But it's been fun to help them get started with
Yep.
that. So
What a way to kick off retirement is
Yeah.
to take on another major job
right.
project.
Yeah, Pastor
Right.
Max doesn't really not do anything. You always have your hand in something.
yeah, well, I totally believe in the value of Christian education, and we made a commitment as a school
Yep.
that we're going to thoroughly integrate a biblical worldview across all the academic areas of the spectrum, so that our goal is that when students leave, they're not just survivors in their world, but they thrive in their world and really make an impact.
Yep.
Whether it's on a college campus or in a work community or in a neighborhood, we want them to really make that impact. So that's the real purpose of the school.
Yep.
And you have some background in teaching, and obviously very passionate about this. I guess, other than your teaching background, tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a mom and a wife. I have a husband and 3 beautiful kiddos. And so this community, it's just, I'm so connected through, our church, and our family is really active at our church, and it's so important. And then being a teacher, here in Buffalo, you kind of feel like, wherever you go, there's somebody you're chatting with and talking to. But yeah, this is my 17th year being a first and second grade teacher. And education has been is such a passion, and working with students and helping to influence the next generation. And so I've taken that with my passion for, the Lord, and God has just been so faithful, and I see the importance of raising up, my husband and I, our 3 kiddos, to know, love, and serve Him. And so to take my passion with teaching and my faith and put them together is just like,
Yep.
and I'm so excited for that piece and what my part will look like at the school. I'm not 100% sure, but I have a heart for leadership. And so it's always been, I love being in the classroom with the kiddos, but just that professional next level of, helping teachers just to grow themselves, making an impact that way. So I'm hoping to do some type of administrative role or so, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the challenges is being open and upfront about, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
Yep.
But have faith in us.
Yeah.
Have
Right.
faith in our vision and,
Right.
and the plan. So
We've gotten very good at saying we don't know, but we'll find out.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So true.
So
Yeah.
It's almost become a standard answer.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
us.
it's true.
Because I even sit here thinking like, oh, I wonder, like, where are you gonna? What if you need 6 teachers in year 1, and where are you gonna find them? And I bet
Yeah.
I bet the answer is I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you the good thing is we've had a lot of people reach out to us already when we, had our first forum, or they've heard about us and they email, our email address, and they'll say, I'm really interested in looking at a potential position. And so we've already started to collect. We have over a page of list of different teacher candidates and people at all different levels who want to serve in some capacity. And so I think that will be actually won't be the problem in finding. It'll be the hard part in narrowing and
Yeah.
selecting,
Good
Be
problem to have.
That's true.
Right,
That
yeah.
is true.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a 2-part question,
Yeah.
and it's kind of the polarizing of what's been the biggest challenge trying to get this off the ground, and what's gone phenomenally way better than you thought it was going to be. Choose which one you want to answer first.
Well, I think what's gone better is the people that have come together to help
Absolutely.
us put the school into order. When we first met, it was like, well, where are we going to go? Who's going to help? And it's just God just brought those people
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
to us. I think the other part was just the overwhelming sense of what needed to be done. When you start from nothing and have a vision and a goal, is to lay it all out as wow. I mean, it looked, when we first laid it out, it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
is this even
What did we
going
get
to
ourselves
happen?
into?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We sure we want to keep doing this.
Yeah,
Because
Yep.
when you start working with state governmental entities and then the federal thing, and it's like it gets scary when you start applying to the IRS. And we had an attorney tell us that when you apply for your 501(c), you better have it in order when you make the first application, because if they find something wrong, you go to the back of the list and they make it really hard.
Yep.
So that was a scary thing to, but God's been good. He's
Yep.
been faithful.
He has been faithful, absolutely. And I feel like, if we, and this is all of us in life, when we're given something that we feel passionate about, if you knew all the steps that we're required to take, you might not take that first one.
Right.
And I feel like that's so purposeful to trust him. Like we have these plans, but he determines our steps, and he has equipped us with different people and just right on time. But another piece of that besides just is the financial piece. We're really looking to people who want to come alongside of us in the vision. And I'd love to read, if I could, so our mission is all about impacting the world for Christ. And our vision statement reads like this: we want to partner with parents in order to train students to be lifelong learners. We want to equip them with knowledge and wisdom that will prepare them for a solid faith foundation to do what? To serve God and their community. So we want people who can come alongside of us, who would agree with that vision, to support us in that way. So that's just the other piece, where you're stepping in your own minimal resources, but having faith that God will provide those people and finances and all of that.
Right, yeah.
So
What I'm curious, you're talking about when you get all the government involved. I mean, what aspects is there? You have to follow this, and that's just the land of the law of the land. You have to follow this, no matter what type of school you have.
Right. There's some things, because we want to be a nonprofit, we had to apply for a 501(c)(3), which is a lot of paperwork, a lot of things you have to complete to do that. But we need that. We know that that's an important piece, especially for those donors who are looking for some kind of a tax receipt. It was much easier to file with the necessary papers with the state
Sure.
to get our tax ID number and legitimacy. So we are a legitimate entity now within the state of Minnesota. So,
Yep.
yeah.
yeah.
And then as far as like you're going to run a school now, like curriculum. I mean, is there a standard curriculum?
We get to choose.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we get to
Sure.
choose. So how that process went. One of our subcommittees was the curriculum committee, and we just selected a variety of curriculums to kind of look at. Then narrowed it down to 2. Really kind of took them through the fine-tooth comb, and it's neat because on our launch committee team, there's a variety of other teachers besides myself. So having that background to look at, would this meet student objectives as far as how things are written out and all of that, but then also we wanted the curriculum to match our vision, which is to give kids a biblical worldview. So we have chosen a curriculum. It's called BJU curriculum, Bob Jones University, and from kindergarten up to that 12th grade, it starts by giving kids a biblical worldview, but we also, academics are so important too. So giving kids a rigorous opportunity to really, with the math, the science, the reading, the health, all of those pieces, we will implement as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, because we're a private entity, there's some things that the public school is mandated to incorporate that we will not be mandated to do that. So we have some flexibility in that role.
Right. Yeah.
You mentioned that, you're looking to serve more than just the Buffalo community. Doing a podcast obviously has some reach.
Right.
But what else are you doing? Like, how have you gone about making sure that, hey, we want this to travel outside of the city lines?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a couple of things, we are on social media. So we have our own Facebook page, we have an Instagram account, and those pieces. And then we have also reached out to other churches in this community just to build that partnership. But also we're looking at reaching outward to the surrounding communities and getting that word out there. So looking at saying, hey, can we come and be able to speak on a Sunday morning and have a table, and people could come up and chat with us about what we're all about. So and also looking to that word of mouth, that grassroots of people just kind of sharing about what's going on. But that is something that our communication team is working on, is just we're working on developing a brochure to really advertise, all that we're about, and letting as many people know to spread the word as we can. So we're working on that.
Yeah.
Right.
And we had an article in the Drummer and
That's right. Yep, we did.
The County Journal. So, which goes to everybody, So
Yep.
that I've heard a lot of positive feedback on that one as well. So
Right.
yeah,
And then that collaborative effort with other churches as well. Feedback. You said it was no specific denomination of.
No.
It's just Christian.
Right.
Let's.
right. And a part of our struggle is we have limited space. Even at Buffalo Covenant, we have a limited space where. So if you venture out, our thing is if we venture out too far, we could be overwhelmed
Right.
with
Yes.
the numbers,
Yes.
and then it's like, well, then what do you do? Then you create a waiting list and you turn people away, and so it's kind of that game of how do you find the midpoint that's just absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean that sincerely. Is
Yeah.
good luck. Yeah.
And it sounds like there's a lot of reason to believe that, this is where your faith comes into, right?
That's right.
We don't have the answer to this, but a lot of things we haven't had answers for have been resolved.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, we
Cool.
can just work hard to just paint that vision to what really, I feel like when God gives us something, that calling, it's like that burning on your heart. You can't outrun it. It's just, and I kind of felt like that in the beginning. I didn't know what my role would be. I just I know a little bit about education. My faith is so important to me, but over time, it's like, okay, I hear you, Lord.
Right.
And just super excited to give families another opportunity, just in a way that they can educate their child and partner with us in that. So
This might be a question. I just thought about that. Is my kids go to St. Francis, so and there's some communication with busing. It is all of those things. I assume the school district kind of has to be involved too. Is it?
good question. We don't, we kind of talked about it. And so we could use the Vision Transportation if we wanted to kind of network. And I know you're right, St. Francis
Sure.
does that. And, but we have chosen for the first year to just kind of go around that and just do parent pickup, parent
Sure.
drop off, just because we're going to start actually at a different time than the schools do now. Our start
Okay.
time is going to be from 8 o'clock to 2:30. So that we would have to have lined up with the district and all those pieces. And
Yeah.
so we just, for a lot of reasons, just said, hey, we're going to, for the first year, forego that.
We're going to have enough
Yeah.
learning opportunities this next year.
Yeah.
Let's eliminate one
Right.
of those right
Yeah, that's
away.
correct.
And that's
Yep.
kind of become our theme. We're going to do it for 1 year. We're just, everything is
That's
just,
so
we're
true.
trying
It's
for
a
1
living
year.
document.
Yeah, so we don't want
Yep.
to do a long-term promise,
Yep.
just for the first year, see how it goes. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So,
And you mentioned K through 9.
Yes. Yeah.
So, if somebody is concerned about their kid's ability to participate in a sport, like a middle school sport, is there co-op or partnership opportunities with the school district at this point to take advantage of those athletic opportunities?
Yeah, so students can still open enroll in all of the other athletic. So I have a daughter right now, a fifth grade daughter who will be sixth grade next year at the school, and she plays hockey. She's my girl. She loves hockey, and she can still be a part of all of those sports. So students can they can still be a part of those other sports and activities. So,
yeah.
with the hope, we'll see what the good Lord provides as we grow and are able to provide those opportunities. But for now, kiddos can still participate.
so
in.
band and choir and all those things are still options
They are.
Oh,
because of being open enrolled.
sure. So you can kind of selectively open enroll. Like I want to open enroll to take it to play in the Buffalo High School band.
Because
choir.
you're a tax-paying entity here within the
Sure.
school district, and your money is still going to the school district,
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and how many kiddos, take advantage of that? We
Yeah.
don't know. We also, we want to make sure we provide physical education and, musical opportunities for the students. And just looking at, obviously, with the numbers, that's our other thing we always say. Well, it depends on the numbers of students, but
Yeah.
really getting them some other opportunities. We've talked about in fact, a lady reached out to me yesterday, and she said, maybe I could come and work, and we could do, a choir for the 6th, 7th, and 8th, 9th graders, and we can do a praise choir. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just all these things just are coming together. And again, we don't know, but we want to give the kids a lot of opportunities too. So it's going to look, like all the things they're used to doing, we want them to be able to participate in. So, yeah.
Is there a goal in mind as far as X amount of students, X amount of class sizes? Any goal right then, or any expectations?
Well, we limit the class size to no more than 15.
Right.
That's one of the things that we're focusing on. We want so the teacher has that opportunity of getting to know his or her students and really understanding who they are, how they learn, which can happen in a small setting when you get up to 25, 30, 35 kids in a classroom.
Right.
Then you have kids that fall through the cracks, because the teacher just can't focus on that many directions. So that is one of our commitments that we've made from the very beginning, is we're going to focus on that small class size, which also creates a problem because
Yeah,
depending upon the
right.
numbers,
Yep.
then how do you handle that?
You beat me to my next question.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah,
obviously
Yeah.
you have 18 kids in a class signing up for second grade.
yeah.
There's challenges there, I suppose.
Yeah. Then what do you
Yep.
do? We've had challenge. We've had, what do we do with special needs kids? And so we know that that's an issue that we're going to have to address. Is it a first year issue or is it a second year issue?
Right.
And that's those things that we're working through
Yeah.
through now, which is not an easy
No.
decision to make.
Kind of stressed out just thinking about it, to be honest with you.
I know it is. Yeah, but just knowing that we're looking at just what Buffalo Covenant can handle as far as just the space there, because there's other ministries throughout the days and the weeks. It's very busy, very active, which is awesome. And so just knowing how to collaborate with those other ministries that are already, rooted there, that have had that space. You don't want to come and say, hello, we're here. You want to work
This is
together.
ours now.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so we've had those conversations, and we're working with, the staff at BCC, and Pastor Max has been just wonderful, and to be able to just guide us through that piece in what can be, Impact Christian Academy section, and what parts of the church we want to just kind of leave, so that other,
Yeah.
groups can come in. But I just really truly believe that God will work it out. I really do. And but it is going to be, I think we're going to have a big number of enrollment, and just as we gauge interest, as we keep doing that, it's exciting, but like you said, it is a little stressful,
Right.
but a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
So
I didn't jot it down. You mentioned earlier that you've got at the end of January, are you
Yes.
going to do another public thing? Or are you going to do
It's the end of
a forum?
February 28th is
Yep.
our
February 28th.
next community forum.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And we're already starting to advertise that on our social media accounts. And so it's a Monday night at 7:00, February 28th. And it's going to be neat to see the comparison of what we kind of brought the why are we starting a Christian school, and kind of laying those pieces.
Sure.
But now we're going to be able to really put a lot of, just cast that vision actually for families. That's kind of what our next steps are these next months, is we want families to be able to really visualize their child being, at Impact Christian Academy. And so we have to paint and cast that vision for them without knowing all the answers. It's like a little bit of a...
But we definitely have more answers
right. We do.
now than we did
Correct.
in November.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Yep.
If somebody's hearing this and going like, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a licensed teacher, I don't have a kid in school, but I strongly believe in their vision. How could they get involved, or how can they serve
Yeah.
to help this launch?
That's a great question. So one thing they can do is just reach out. If you do put a link, I can give that to you as far as just what our website is. We have a Gmail account, and then we have our website that they can get in contact with us, or even just Pastor Max or myself. That's just been a neat thing for people, like you said, to say, how can I help out? And at our forum the first time, in our little contact card, there was a section for, are you interested in volunteering? And the amount of people, the retired teachers, the name your everything, who said, I would love to help here. I would love to help. And even yesterday after our church service, there was a couple people that came up to say, I would just love to help out in this way. And you're just like, oh my goodness. I'm not sure how you're going to fit in there, but we thank you.
Yeah. We will not lose your contact.
Yes,
Right.
that's exactly right. But people are stepping up, and that's what we need.
right.
People to continue to step up and just really believing that God will call those people that He wants to be a part of our family, our community. So,
Yeah, as I listen, it's hard not to, for me personally, even not even really being involved in the project, but you so quickly want to fast forward 10 years and see your own campus and
Yes.
see it
Right.
full of kids, and you're just like, I'll go, and it's just
Right.
like, okay, we have to open our doors first, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just kind of the.
Yep.
But your enthusiasm is contagious, so I can
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
see that.
I said we have two vision. We have a big vision, and
Yep.
the vision is 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But in order to get there, we need a series of smaller visions. So now the vision is, what does year one look like? And then it'll be what year two looks like, all keeping in mind what we want year 5 to look like,
Right.
or year 10 to look like.
Are you that calming force of like pie in the sky up here and like, hey, no,
Well, I've been.
what are we doing next week?
I've been kind of the big
Okay.
picture guy.
Yep.
And which we can't lose sight of, and
That's
we
right.
need the big picture. But sometimes you can be so muddled down in trying to get from point A to point B that you
Yep.
forget that what's out
That's
here
right.
looks like.
Yeah.
So someone needs to do that, and then
Mm-hmm.
we've got a great team that's putting all the little pieces together. So what does year one look like?
Mm-hmm.
And which is important. It takes both.
Yeah,
to make it happen.
absolutely. And I think coming in from, just my elementary classroom right now, that was the piece I just thought, so this is my 17th year in the exact same 4 walls that I have built this to be like another home. And you just think about how it's not going to look that way, right? At, Impact the first year, because you're sharing that space. So we have, on Wednesday nights, we have our, Awana kiddos that are in those classrooms, youth group space. And so you just have to know that, like all those other pieces of where you, like you said, you want it to be this vision of what you think it could look like, but to just thinking, if you just present yourself, the kids just want, really the connection of the teacher, right? That staff person, it's connection before correction. Kids don't care what we have to say, right, unless they know we care. And that's the piece that it starts. And all the other stuff, like the fun stuff of, creating that environment, which we have a beautiful facility at Buffalo Covenant, and it's already so kid-friendly and warm and inviting that I think it's good, but for my brain, like my, woo! I have to be like, Rissa, this is okay. This is, they just need you.
Yeah.
They don't need all the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, as we're winding down here, is there any last messages you'd like to share with our 250,000 viewers today?
no pressure.
Oh, for sure. No, other than we appreciate a lot of people praying for us. I mean, we know that God has to guide us. He's instilled the vision within us, but He's the one who's giving the marching orders. And sometimes we want to run ahead, and when we do, we get in trouble. So it's the patience in waiting for God to say, now we'll add this piece. And so we appreciate that. We also need people to step up and say, hey, how can I help financially?
Right.
So I shared yesterday, we have a very limited bank account, and now but we got big dreams, and there's a lot of things that you have to have when you start. We
Right.
have to staff an office, and that's not cheap. And curriculum is not cheap to buy, and all the stuff that goes into making a classroom. And so we're dependent upon people to step forward and say, how can I help with that? So.
Yeah, and I would just echo just the need of families just to ponder and think about what this opportunity could do for their child, for their child's future, for their family. Like a big piece of it is that partnering piece. It's actually the first word in our vision is to partner with families, because we want to come alongside, moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and help them to raise their child up, to love, to know, and to serve the Lord. And that's exciting. That's so exciting to be a part of that. And just, and the statistics kind of show, right, Pastor Max?
Yep.
I mean, a lot of kiddos, when they get to that college age and they're walking away from their faith. And so, if mom and dad, we're saying one thing and then we're kind of living this way, and it's not a judging thing. It's just kind of that stats of, oh my goodness, what has this child been poured into about? We want to just partner and say, hey, we'd like to help you with that. We want to encourage you and your family and as a resource, and just the whole child piece, right? So we're just, we're excited.
Yeah, right. We know that in Christian school, the partnership with parents is different than in a public school. And a part of it is because parents are paying over and above their taxes. It's an additional expense to do that. And there are a different set of expectations. I found that out when I taught in a Christian high school. But it can be a very positive thing. Where you can begin to develop those relationships with parents that you probably don't have within a public setting, which we really want to foster and build upon is that family environment. So.
Yeah, and just being so community focused too, and helping to teach kids the why. I mean, it's great to, grow up and learn all these, bits of information and to learn God's word, but what are you going to do with it?
Right.
And that's where the impact word. And we thought a lot about that word, and we had a whole list of different words of, just to describe what our school is going to be about and the name of it. And then we all just came, when someone mentioned that name, it was just like,
well, that was it.
It is, because we want God to impact, the student's heart, but then we want to impact the community around us. And so, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Very fun. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Good luck. And again, you can get in contact with them above or below wherever is here. Get in contact if you have questions, comments,
absolutely.
concerns, if you want to write a check, if you want to do anything
Yes,
like
I'll
that.
take it.
That sounds good.
But for the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reese.
I'm Mark Benzer.
I'm Max Frazier.
And I'm Rissa Schrick. Thank you so much.